meat shield. So I think if Omegalil just kind of cover themselves with the big beefy carries, then they should be fine.
Terrorblade overall, yeah, it's been picked already multiple times today. It's good. I would rather see it on Omegalil than I would see it on HellRaisers. So, like, one thing that I really hate about Phoenix is he also just burns through you. He doesn't care about your armor on TB, so it can be a little bit difficult for him to deal with Phoenix. And you don't really want to be a TB that's hitting the egg constantly, in these team fights. So.
Very true.
Overall, the new build on Phoenix as well that rushes the whale just amps his magic damage, which makes life a bit harder for TB overall. We'll see though. There are some teams that still pick it against it. Don't care too much.
I'm just picturing, because HellRaisers, I think, flexed this Veno down to a 5 the other day. And I'm trying to work out a weird scenario in which they somehow, like, fully switch up their heroes, like the offlane Ogre and the 5 Veno. Hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Like,
HellRaisers.
why not, like, Ogre position 3 with the Midas? Midas has been
changed.
buffed.
Let's go.
Ogre. Yeah, there you go.
The move still against the clock in lane, so we can never really get on top of it. Okay.
Don't.
You're giving people ideas here, lads. It don't sound like very good ones.
All right, Mr. Banks.
I'm trying to save people from copying your T-Gov.
Yeah, it's the copying though. I'd have to, do it first. I'm just suggesting a theory.
Suggesting it, okay.
So you
get out of jail free card. I'll let you take that one.
Thank you.
The PL ban makes me think that this most likely is the clock off.
Or a clock 5 with Phoenix 4.
So PL is one of better heroes versus clock when he is offlane, right? But I think this is... It doesn't matter. I was wrong because they banned it because of Drow Ranger, pretty much. They're covering the Drow.
Yeah, that's true.
Spectre is banned out. They ban out
PL.
of
course. Yeah, they're setting themselves up for a Drow game. 100%, yeah. Just taking away all the big counters to Drow, and overall they have just a nice little skirmishy lineup that can just get into your face, and they just need to round out.
Yeah, they have a lot of frontlining, right? You have the Phoenix, you have the Clockwork as well to follow up the egg, so the Drow should be able to deal quite well. Just end in the backlines, dish out the damage, shouldn't be too big of a problem. There are still other carries that can deal with the Drow. You don't have to go for the PL or the Spectre. So far, how's Slark been? Like, I've seen him in one game and he lost. Did you guys cast or cover any other games
than that? But
I think if we look away from this qualifier and just look at like OGA with Alliance, I think they showcased how good Slark can be, especially on Nico Baby. So I think we might probably see it coming into the Immortal bracket, but right now it's not really been too hot. I think the last game we saw was when VODs played against it, and they had like 4 Vision Heroes plus Tinker against Slark,
the Night Stalker Tinker game. Yeah, I saw that one. All right, Vengeful, they're just piling on to this Drow strategy right now. The first 2 openings don't
really...
Offlane,
then. It's going to be clock offlane most likely.
Yeah.
Good call.
I mean, still, they didn't ban the PL because of clock offlane. I just got lucky there. It's like, whatever.
Jumped on it.
I'll take the W, but it's really not mine.
I'm trying to hand it out.
It's really not
all
mine.
the information in advance.
They go with the Morphling. Okay, gives you some burst damage, doesn't really care about Phoenix, can deal with the egg at every given point in the game. You don't have a lot of catch for him as well. Can get on top of that Drow too.
But in terms of the lanes, I'm looking at Omegalil, and they have like pretty scary lanes. They got Venge Drow, very classic combo. If it is the Clock Phoenix in the lane together, that's still going to be pretty scary to play into. It's a lot of aggression. You can constantly push the wave in on the tower. And HellRaisers right now, their lineup hits. What is like the timing I'm looking at? Like the tiny jump picking off people, but like with a slow clunky Venom behind him. Like where right now does HellRaisers go? Okay, we're making our mark on the map. Other than Morphling having like 2 or 3 items and being able to play, like Omegalil just gonna be able to group up whenever they want, pressure a tower, and if the Venom just isn't set up, I don't see them defending.
Are you thinking the same thing that I am? This is tiny Venom offlane, and then Ogre +1 safe lane. Possibly Morphling.
Yeah, that's
right?
currently currently my kind of.
So most likely Morphling is the safe lane to play versus Clock because he shouldn't have any problems escaping him. But this offlane with the Tiny and the Venomancer, this is an offlane in which usually you have Veno +1 hero that's protecting him, setting that perimeter. He soaks in all the damage so that your Venomancer can strive. The problem is Tiny at some point he needs space as well. You want to give him a lane. You want to give him some farm. And if he's constantly just defending you, not making any aggressive moves, it can get a bit difficult. But this lane, however, if Drow gets out of position just slightly, it's very easy to kill her off. Like, you don't go for maxed out Plague Wards, you get one level of Gale, then you max them out. And if she gets caught by Gale or by the toss back, it's very easy to kill her. And that lane can go horribly wrong for Omegalil too.
Just looking at HellRaisers, I need to see, like, right now, they need someone who can wave clear, someone who can team fight. Like, they need, like, 3 heroes in one. Like, they need, like, the Kunkka-esque hero or the Puck-esque hero that can basically fill multiple roles and fight with your team.
Just Dark Warden, lol. But for real, I'm not even kidding. I hated on the hero the last game. And in this game, it's really bad because you have a Morphling. But if you didn't have a Morphling, this would be a much better Arc Warden game than that last one.
Why is this in your mind now?
Because they triggered me with that last game.
I can see.
In this game, Arc Warden would be much better because clones attack stack onto the egg. So you would have 2 heroes to attack the egg. And as good as it is versus Terrorblade, it's much better versus Drow. Like, it just counters her completely. It isn't even the same because Drow has no ways of dealing with all your spells while TB has with one single illusion or Manta.
He's desperately trying to justify this.
It's like the same situation as like the Lil playing position for Night Stalker. If they pick Arc Ward in this position, I'll eat my sandal, all right?
They're not gonna pick
no, exactly, I know.
If there was no Morphling...
Just making it clear for Banks, just in case.
If there was no Morphling, it would have been a good... that's all.
But I'm just trying to think of that, like, what hero completes them right now, because other than lane dominance into then trying to set a position on the map, I'm not seeing them, like, quickly take Roshan or make any aggressive hold on the area. Like, Ogre's just going to constantly run around, take ganks for his Morphling to come online. They might be able to play off catapult waves, which is their strongest timing. But in terms of like pure 5-on-5 team fight, I just think they're just undermatched in every department.
You can get another hero that benefits from Ogre, something like that. Some TA. Okay, they go for the Invoker. Gives you a little bit of everything. And we've seen it, twice today already, and it has had 0 success. So... basically, it's it's not really promising. It feels like this jack of all trades that you just pick in the end when you aren't really sure what you need.
We're like, we've really not plugged all the holes, so let's try and see what we can.
But at least it is technically a hero that can join his team. It can be very obnoxious. It can play with the Tiny, with the Ogre, right? And the 3 of them can just be
Okay. We laughed. We had our joy. Put Invoker 4, put Tiny mid. You deal with that.
Yeah.
You deal with the Brood, right? At least for a little while, because Invoker isn't going to lane there. You don't have a single hero that lanes mid. I think
depends how alpha he is, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But at this point, I think you have to swap these things out. Like you put the Tiny mid.
But it's wow. It's so nice though. HellRaisers getting brooded. Am I right? Like, come on, lads. We can all jump on that one, you know? But I think, Omegalil, they've got really strong lanes. They've now obviously got the Brood. And we can't jump on the idea of, oh, look, they picked Brood, they've won. But it's more, they've got such strong side lanes that already feel like they can group together better. That if this Brood isn't, like, playing against the Tiny mid, has that free time, I think their overall team timing is a lot more clearer, a lot easier to execute. And they can just take towers and Roshan and generally play the map a little bit better than HellRaisers.
So you're a bit on the Omegalil side?
Yeah, this is, unfortunately...
Another 2-0?
Yeah, it could be a 2-0.
No, I actually don't think that they needed Brood. I think they were different avenues that they have ventured in to pick the right position tool for this game. Yeah, anything, pretty much. Their draft was so open because all those check marks were already locked. They just needed... any standard mid laner that does decently well versus Invoker, and the list is plenty. They decided to go for the Brood and just put the last nail in the coffin because they are now in a situation in which if Tiny is mid and if he does really well, it could be kind of problematic for them. But it's still a Brood.
It's still like, even with this lane swap, it's a Tiny against a Phoenix and a Clock. It's still like a very disruptive game where once he commits, their counter initiation, unless he's jumping the Drow, removing that straight away, then I think it's still not a good situation to be in. So
you're also with Omegalil, Lizard?
Yeah, definitely.
It's Omegalil all the way. We're looking at a potential of a 2-0 once again. But let's see what happens in this game. Is it going to be all Omegalil the whole way? We've got Killer Pigeon and we've got Trent. Guys, the desk has been very one-sided this time. They're not split. What do you make of it all?
I mean, On the one hand, I have this kind of synchronized laughter moment with Liz because HR are getting brooded. But on the other hand, yeah, I'm kind of on the bandwagon of sadness because this could very easily turn into another 2-0 now.
What's that, like 14? 2-0s or something in a row?
I think you just lose count at this point and just start crying for the viewers at home. They're not getting their fill of Dota. They're getting kind of like, a tease of Dota.
I just need the sweet redemption. If there's any way, please, to get a third game, it's gotta be beating the Brood Picker, right? They force your Invoker off the lane. Maybe choose get a sweet Invoker. Look, he's playing support Invoker. He's got the little silver medal up top there. He's done some stuff before. Maybe it won't be too bad.
In fairness, by that logic, I don't. Stay if I'm wrong, but it looks like Brood's little icon's not very showing of a Brood spammer right there.
Yeah, there you go. See, we're figuring it out here.
There you go. He probably doesn't even know how the skills
level.
work. There we go.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty unfortunately forced to agree with the panel. Like, what can you really say? They got brooded 10th versus an Invoker that forced the Invoker in the mid lane. I will say, I also kind of agree, though, that they did give us this, like, really, really, really small window that I'm kind of hoping for Game 3, frankly, where if this Tiny pops off, maybe Kasani's just like, finally, a moment where my team is forced to let me play Tiny. There is a chance. I mean, there's some heroes he can blow up, but there's also, as T-Governor pointed out, very big nuisance as to how a Tiny wants to play, right? You need 100-0, full commitment. You're going to get hook shot, there's going to be a Sunray, and we call that the old turning of the tables.
I guess the other thing that they'd be worried about is this isn't the Tiny that just has infinite tree stacking, right? Like, you're limited, and that does mean that in theory, Sunlight shouldn't be as pressured as previous Tiny iteration would achieve.
I don't think it's as bad versus Brood because you want to toss the tree all the time anyway. Like, if he tries to, like, run the spiders away. So it's like, it's not quite as bad.
And more importantly, you look at this top lane, it's like a case of as long as Nyx gets enough space, you could see a world in which, you get a decent timing on maybe E-Blade. I don't know if you can rush E-Blade in this game as the Morph though, right? Because the silence is what I'm thinking of primarily. Like,
I mean, the Morph in general is just a little
slow.
It's like, it's weird because we've seen teams pick Drow in response to Morphling before because they see a game where they go, okay, I can cut through the base armor. We have the silence. Like, maybe they have good lead up skills as Chu. We're gonna ignore that. That's a mid Invoker.
That's. I mean, the most painful part is that was their choice to initiate on. They were running Cullen down, but they just reached a point where the only thing hitting the Drow is Tonic, and you're under a tower as this Drow with extra armor.
Oh, he was getting low. There was something.
No, don't mislead them, Trent. Don't mislead them, Trent. Come on.
Well, he was low.
He was low. I agree. The problem is Tonic hits for 51 damage, and that's before reductions. Not exactly the most threatening of individuals. I mean, even top right now, I'm actually watching the Phoenix successfully out-harass the Ogre Magi, which is another thing you don't really say often.
Yeah, Ogre... There's actually two matchups that I find pretty annoying when I play support Ogre, and it's Phoenix and Clockwork. And they put the Clockwork on the core. Specifically, it's the support Clockwork, right? Where you have... Because Ogre... The whole point of Ogre is you have to use your HP bar as a mana bar, right? It is a tool to be utilized constantly. But it is very hard to do the math and the calculations versus something like a Clockwork because you never know, like, with the battery cell and the cogs and how many right clicks you're going to get, sometimes committing to the Orb of Venom feels kind of bad. But if you commit to Boots, you're probably not going to get away. So I agree that the Orb's probably the right choice, but he also doesn't have that, like, actual kill potential that you like to have with the Orb sometimes as an Ogre because there's a Clockwork and then there's Phoenix Dive.
Yeah, and you're playing pretty independent, right? It's not like Nyx is going to be able to join you anytime soon. Maybe if you're in range for an Adaptive Strike, but Waveform doesn't get level 2 early. Even then, it's a Morphling. It's not like he brings his own significant stun or sudden catch to the fight.
Yeah, it's just, there's so many heroes in this game for HellRaisers that I just look at and go like, man, there's really annoying opponents this match. It's like the Venom's got a bunch of ranged heroes. The Invoker has the Brood. The Ogre has the Clock.
I'm gonna get killed. Darara, he's actually living. Alright, this bot lane is turning a little bit disaster. You can see how close it's been, right? Like, how close they come to getting these kills each time, but we've also seen how many times when that's the case, all of a sudden, the blink of an eye almost, it can snowball out of control one way or the other.
Well, so far the snowball has been going down the downhill that was expected. It has not made a miraculous defile of physics quite yet in this matchup.
No, and then you look at mid as well. Sunlight is out CSing the Tiny, and that's with the consideration of potentially spiders being eaten up by the Tiny. I mean, at least Morph is getting good farm, but then he's against a hero that, you know, in the top that doesn't really necessarily need a significant amount of last hits to do things. I feel like I'm making an argument for and then immediately against. Trent,
Sometimes you
give
just
me
gotta
the
believe, dude. It's good.
give me the upside. What's the lane they can play around? He was trying to play around.
They got EMP and a Gale bottom.
Yep, Darara.
Man, it's still a hard kill. Look how long that takes. Oh.
You could just see the moment, like he had 6 charges, and there's definitely that moment where Drow just goes, "Don't worry, buddy, I got you." Speaking of God, top lane, not only the Ogre, now Nick's being pressured as well. Almost loses his Courier. He has the waveform. You can see he's a little bit hesitant.
It's still a Fairy Fire, so good call not attempting that.
So at what point does Chu just walk away from bottom?
You'll have to do better than that.
After the
Do
runes?
what though? Maybe he can help get a kill on the Invoker or the Broodmother, like potentially.
You don't really want to try top, right? Like the Morphling is farming at least. That is. You don't really need to invest more in him at this point. I don't think. You need someone to be able to play with him as the game goes on.
And Nyx is a really hard game too, because things like, can he go E-Blade? Like maybe then they get the combo going. And 2 is just 285 move speed, slowed down to 109.
Now he's down to 0.
Yeah, they had step entry anyway, so he's just dead. But like there's Drow Silence and the Brood's gonna be going Orchid, which they can already see by the Sage's Mask. They're gonna be like, yeah, he's definitely going Orchid, guys. I mean, it's a Brood. What do you expect? I don't think he's going to Fusel this game. Doesn't seem very good. So he's gonna be forced into the early Dispel, and that means that his own blow potential is gonna be coming later. And it's just everything is very stacked against HellRaisers at the moment.
Oh, no.
I really want to see HellRaisers do well, because you know that's how we learn, right? Is when unexpected things happen.
Well, something unexpected happened in the bot lane. Phonic has not been killed for once. HellRaisers get out without hemorrhaging a kill to the Drow Venge combo. And yeah, it would be nice to see happen, but it's like there's so many hurdles, because you were mentioning the Morphling and how he's going to be forced to some sort of Dispel. And then you can think about the stances on all the other individuals on the side of HellRaisers. And who really builds a Dispel out of any of these heroes? Like, even if BKB, I'm like a Tiny, you're probably looking at like Echo Saber. Maybe you need a Blink Dagger as well before you even think about BKB. And the other heroes most definitely don't have room for that anytime soon. Especially if you're an Invoker 4. You could build a BKB first, but I think your team would probably report you. Oh, I got the D
Maybe
ward.
Chu can just make it happen, man. You know? Maybe he's gonna pull those boots out of his backpack. There he goes. And maybe the support Invoker will make a glorious return.
Well, Ellen is trying to ensure that Phonic is only going to be making a return to his base. He does go down. You can really feel the pain. Kind of all he can do in this lane right now is EMP and then hope that's just about enough to get him or his Venom Monster out.
I mean, Malek's just running through the tower to grab the wave. He's not even going around.
He's got 2 gauntlets of strength. What does he care about? I hate the nerfs to braces.
Kasani, he went for the tree throw, but he missed. Oh no.
The babies live to fight another day, and that Orchid is almost complete as well. What is really Kasani have to work with? I mean, he's got the treads coming out, but Echo Saber's a long way off. So even once you're actually, like, even if you're in a stage where the Brood isn't going to attack you, like, you're not making active plays on the map like this is Tiny.
Oh, here we go. Hasting is not under a ward. Oh, well, the spider saw him pick it up, I think. I had television.
Well, there's super bird here. It's going to ruin everything for Kasani. And Kasani, up there it is. Just use the haste, get the hell out. He's like, wait, no. I want to
here we go.
Things.
Wait, what?
Well, I mean, he didn't want to grab a tree. It's too risky. Well, I'm talking about that. The bot lane is where the really complex play is happening. Instead, now it is the side of HR getting a double kill onto Omegalil.
Now we're talking.
They bounced back, right? This is, this is revenge of the Spear. They're waiting.
Sani, look at that.
Gets a kill. Pretty cheeky as well. The Spiders with hand come in now to try and do a Kesani, but you don't have the damage for this. Unlike, just bugger off. He can TP at any point. He's not going to, though, for reasons unknown yet. Mainly because he wants to farm more.
Classic zero armor. You think about all the magic damage from Tiny early on, but he did more than half of that with physical, just because the no armor on the Phoenix. So, and also the fact that he's maxed out, obviously, in the tree throw build versus the Broodmother. But
Radiant are scanning.
yeah, the forgotten build because of the way Tiny keeps getting reworked. Unfortunately, in a way, needed versus Brood.
Yeah, I think most people keep forgetting how the zero works at this stage. Won't be long before we're back at tree throwing axes. That was maybe the most spooky one, actually.
It actually hasn't been nerfed that hard. When you look at the numbers, they didn't really tweak it down that much.
Well, it was the Echo Saber, right? Because you can't maim anymore with the thrown-in trees.
No, I think you actually can.
Oh, they got rid of that.
No, they
oh,
did.
no, sorry, that's right. That was the thing that people kept saying they should get rid of because it was like, it was just absolutely busted.
Exactly. Yeah, that still works.
Yeah, I think it was the mana and the cooldown was the main thing. Bot lane, Trey going on close to the side, but the hook shot in. Hello, where you going? Off lane on off lane action, and Malik comes out ahead.
Wow, he's level 7?
Why are you doubting our boy? He's good.
Well, he was like dual laning for most of that up top.
I mean, in fairness, like the last 2 minutes, Vampire spent more time mid. Somewhat to his detriment.
Climb back, it's only a 1k lead. This game is not out of control yet, and the Morphling's doing great. They got a few levels up. Things got better. Mapochka only died once, and they kind of kept just pulling the wave away. So Nyx was getting a lot of farm under tower, and that's one thing Morphling's very good at, right? The hero can do just fine. Got the really early Morbid Mask as well, so that he can just fully sustain into the tower with all his attribute shifting shenanigans. Malik also still not having cogs either, so they can't just like freely kill Mapochka. Now they're looking for a pick. But Kasani also here ready for it.
Yeah, Malik's
they
just
really want
himself.
this catapult on the tower, but it is going to be very hard.
Well, they do reveal the Diorara is here. You can see how this could easily work in the favor of Omegalil, considering they do have the egg to work with on Vampire. I'm moving that catapult, and there's no way to stop it. In fact, you may begin to question why they were even here. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Sunlight chasing down a shoot. It's not enough damage to kill him off. You need to be careful with escaping
really
spiders.
Surprising. He could kill a support invoker with Orchid. He must have like instant it. Yeah, he must have done it right away before he even got like a right click or two off.
And I think Chu was in Wex mode as well, so he was at least getting a decent amount of extra movement speed. Yeah, a little bit of an odd one there. I mean, it's kind of weird when they're posturing that many heroes top. They don't really get anything done. Like, if you brought one hero mid, it's easily a kill. Because that Broodmother is at the stage where if you have one stun or one slow, she can find kills. Speaking of stuns and slows, the bot lane is good enough to bring down Chu. Having Diorara running away. Funnick is protected by Nyx. Oh, there's nobody left to protect Diorara. Hook shot in, though. I say he was protecting Funnick, only as long as he stands alongside him. Malik comes again to the bot lane to get another kill on his off-lane counterpart. It's almost like there's just a rumor going around Omegalil's team. Like, yo, guys, your bot lane's really easy to kill. Malik just screams, what? Comes down, gets a kill every time.
Meanwhile, some investigation from Malik also just flaring the Ancients. Like, yeah, I know where you are.
You're a carrier, right? This is the triangle. We know where you're going to be for the next 10 minutes. And there you go. They move Funnick top. Like, please, just let me hit things and stop hitting me. It might work for once, considering what did TP to bot lane. So you got a creep wave, maybe a creep and a half before the clockwork arrives again. Although he might be interested in a bigger target.
Remember how early they got this mid tower down low though, and Sunlight has still just like committed to holding this thing. It was getting really beat down by Kasani in the mid lane because Sunlight was trying to like abuse the neutrals as much as he could, and he was like sacrificing HP on his tower. But the fact that like now this is just sitting here so low, so juicy as HellRaisers, that they're gonna want to smoke to this and try and make a play on it. And you already saw that we had the Drow just sitting there, Kellen just waiting, hoping that they're gonna try something. Now it just goes back to farming and slowly rotates up top because, I mean, there's a reason you plant the Veno, right? This is the whole idea. You hold the hard tower. And Funnick, he's going deep.
Deeper.
The Moon Lord, you know, he's got a secret base
I mean, there's going to be dive for in a second.
I got a kobold for a friend back here.
But he's just like, I've just pinned myself in. I'm not here. Uh-oh. Alex ready to rock and rumble.
I missed him.
Even if not, he doesn't need it. Like vision, great. Meantime, they do actually find a kill on the Chew as well. Sunlight finally able to get an orchid kill.
Yeah, he lost his tower at least, though.
He did. That does open up the top area, though. So this, this is potentially somewhere the Drow can play around now, especially if the Morphling just wants to play the mirror matchup, which will likely be the case, if not for this smoke movement. Maybe the mid open up the map. I mean, that would mean that the Dire's primary jungle is kind of safe for Drow to invade if you can get your hands on that tower.
Yeah, they're hoping someone comes to farm this thing. Just go for the hook shot. Alex says to be all cool. He's like, yeah, I'm just farming this. Fire scan. Ask if they're doing Roche.
No, they're moving ball,
but still kind of hard this early.
They want
perfect
the big
situation.
target.
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect situation. Kellen's like, well, I wanted to farm this area anyway. They might know about the ward as well, considering, when an ogre is in that area. There we go. Dyrara should be able to just scope this out with the Wave of Terror in a second.
He might miss it, though.
Yeah, he's walking away because Malik is busy distracting his own team at this point with his death. He gets caught out, hook shot, try and back away and find himself in time, but he will die.
Did he,
Oh, Magic Missile comes out. The Cyclone actually protected him from the damage on the drop, and now Kaysai is in trouble. He's dropped to the high ground, moves straight forward towards Kellen, though. A nice pushback coming up for the cast. Dyrara gets left behind. Okay, yeah, there's a ping there, but nobody wants to get rid of the ward that they are. Guys, come on. All right, they'll back away. They don't want it. They're like, no, that's gold for layer, boys. We don't take it down too quick.
We're gonna die if we try and stay for that. Morph's still holding the Morph form, so it'll be very dangerous to try something right there right now.
I mean, Malik's feeling confident. No hook shot, 14 seconds still. But these are my creeps. There are many like them, but these ones are mine.
I'm not actually sure what's best for Nyx this game. Clockwork's pretty nice sometimes.
I mean,
The
like
brood interactions.
Brood could work. If you want like insta in, maybe the dive from Phoenix kind of okay. I think Drow. It's the slowest, right?
Too.
Yeah. I know. I've been burnt down anywhere near quick enough, and that's like moving away. Last bit shot to work with. The stance goes down to Miposhka. I'm not gonna lie, these Orchid players have been a little bit lackluster so far.
Middle tower
I mean, that's kind of the whole reason why it goes back and forth, though, right? So, like, if you can get to the Drow, sure, that would be great. I don't know how effective the multi-shot is until you actually have, like, a BKB or something. I feel like it'll just get canceled, but... Hey, it's only 1.75 seconds. Maybe you'll get it off. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous amplification on Morphling's base damage, right?
Yeah, it's pretty absurd.
I mean, Drow also just builds all raw agi anyway, so it kind of looks sweet on this hero, too, but yeah, sometimes Morphling gets real wild.
That's like you catch her on the right position. She's gonna like rely on the gust, which isn't gonna work very well now that you've got the mana style complete. Do get a kill on the happy Dyrara. Looks like the rest of the side of Omegalil should be able to make it out.
I don't think they're getting enough done right now. I think they should be getting. They need to get like 3 kills with the Sagnums. I feel like they should be flexing pretty hard right now on Omegalil, and it feels like instead they're trying to make little maneuvers and losing heroes.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean,
Mind you, they're probably just being a little bit patient for Kellen's items. Sure.
yeah, they are flexing. They're just flexing on creeps right now. It's not really what you're looking for out of these type of items. It definitely feels like Malik wants to make more plays, but you've just got these 2 other cores. We've all been there before. They just want to hit creeps right now.
Yeah, it is actually the only like real downside of having a brood on your team. It's that it plays in a very specific area, right? Hard to get fights outside of it. And they got another pickoff before. No egg, no counterplay. And I want to give credit to Miposhka. I think he's been playing this game perfectly on the Ogre. Because every time I see Miposhka, the enemy team is on the left side of the map. And then Miposhka will be in the middle. And then his Morphling will be on the right. And it's just like he's always keeping himself in between the most likely way and path that Omegalil want to move. Like, look what he's doing right now. He's just like running upstairs in the jungle. Look where this Ogre is standing. Hello?
He's like a
Would you like the hook shot?
right now. He's like, hit me. I just want you to hit
my
me.
carry. Like, it's so worthless. They move like 4 heroes over here to kill him, and then it just means that Nyx can't die,
Yeah, Yeah, it's I think the thing that it kind of reminds me of is whenever we see kind of CIS ogre, right? These captains who just love to play ultra aggressive, and they will die a lot for it. It's kind of inevitability, but it's the space they always create with it. It's always like whenever I talk to players from like EU or NA, they usually say that whenever they watch or they've played in CIS Dota, it's a wild ride you just have to buckle in for and never truly try and like understand. Just do.
That's pretty deep, dude.
That's how you know it didn't come from me, it came from the players.
They have one sentry down where they're holding out right now, but Sunlight is a little vulnerable here. Unfortunately, Kasani's still not making the rotation. He's trying to get the gank up top. They're trying to double invis this top lane. But no one's taking the bait. Big, juicy creep waves coming through.
Clockwork
They're just staying on the other side and flaring it. It's like, yeah, no. We're not falling for that one.
And this is where Malik's like, don't worry, as the game goes on, guys, I'll just pick up an axe. We'll do the classic refresh to clear creep waves. But for now, they will smoke instead.
Where are they going? They don't actually know. They're
You can
smoking,
tell.
standing still.
Because they're not waiting, like, maybe they're waiting for the Spirit Vessel somewhat, but yeah, Malik
Player
will
also
back
got
for it now.
scouted, which you can try and
Here you go. He's
They
moving
know
in.
they're here.
And Poshka's doing it again.
Ah, an ogre.
Cheeky bugger. Oh, they do see it.
No.
Malik is hunting right now. Poshka's slowly being killed off, but it looks like it's going to be away from Malik. Oh, no! All right, that's a case where you just recalibrate 2 degrees and you're in the money there. Morphling barely getting out in one piece.
His teammates were pretty far away. I don't know how well that would have worked out for him, to be honest.
I mean, in fairness,
I guess the
he has
Spirit
got
Vessel would probably be alright.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Morphling also has Ghost, though.
that's true, but like once you can't TP, what you doing?
Wait for me again.
Just waiting on the cooldowns, checking the clock. See, that's why my suggestion for Malik to build the Axe is even more important here.
Oh, here we go. DD Brood, but yeah, right, they just
Running away with the DD Brood. Oh, yes. Yeah, I don't think they really want to go on a hard. Like, I feel like the Venge getting rid of her right now isn't as important. As soon as she gets that level 2 swap, though, she's gonna screw over a lot of HellRaisers gang attempts.
Yeah, this game is about to get exponentially harder once something like this is BKB too.
Meanwhile, he's got an egg. He's going to throw it out. Okay, Sonny, he just remembered he doesn't actually click very fast here. But he can hit the
tornado stop the
TP.
swamp!
Yep, no swap out. The hook shot through. They say, where you going to? He doesn't care, though. He got the important target out. He says, you're welcome, Mr. President.
Oh, good tip. Quality. He was mid-swap animation. That little, like, coil back of the Venge. What a legend.
And the pain of that, because you did commit the egg, which they're fully aware of. Now they might try and immediately go into making a play themselves. I mean, 15 seconds till the Invoker is up. Tiny can rock and roll when he wants.
For now, he's just happy he got egg off, frankly, versus Tiny, right? Like, I don't think he's really looking for team fights right now, right? Like, Brood finally has the BKB, but now they have Roche potential, they have BKB, and with the swaps available, these fights, again, very difficult for HellRaisers. If they can pull them into the old bog of the Veno, maybe there's something there when Funnick has the Crimson Guard, but...
Oh, Malik is waiting to play. He's like, who's going to come check it? Funnick, hello. Moving out, tornado through. Now they're going to throw it again in. Funnick does go over the poison over, gets stunned up straight away. BKB from Sunlight. If they can get their hands on the Aegis, yeah, they'll sacrifice Malik. They get their hands on that Aegis. The buyback comes after the blockbox, still has the hook shot to welcome him. Vodka on the back line will be the sacrifice of 4 as he ensures the rest of HellRaisers get away.
I don't know if that one had to...
The buyback was a little bit excitable, right? Like, oh, yeah, guys, we're going to fight here for like another 20 seconds.
Oh, no, I meant Maposha's death. I feel like the situation had kind of resolved itself. And he's like, no, it's cool, guys. I need to die.
Maybe he weighed up. He's like, well, I can either like run all the way around and hope to get out, and I'll take like 40 seconds, or I can die and be back in time to defend the tier 2.
Vampire also finishing out the Halberd, too, so... Tough for both the Morph and the Tiny. But mostly the Morphling.
Yeah, I don't think you worry about this on the Tiny who panicked and ran away from your egg last time. It's definitely for this poor little Morph. Oh. Alright, double smoke is more effective. Pretty sure both supporters use smokes, but as long as it pays off, who cares? It's a small detail. Alec is holding the high ground, though. And here comes the scary Spooder. A fast one.
They already have a sentry there, too. If they reflare or wave, they can't cover that for now. That's the secret obs.
Shot in. Straight away. We've got that as well. More playing gets full stuff away. He's pretty far out.
He's good. He's chilling with the Manta.
Tanky boys. Spirit Vessel will tick him down a decent amount. Bot's going to come in. Waveform away. They've come in way too deep. They need to be careful. Sunlight throws out the stance under the Evoker, but the Avalanche toss comes out and will force Sunlight back. Broodmother's almost dead. They have a creep wave either, so they can't even push in to try and finish the tower.
Yeah, he can get Spirit Vessel there. Well, Kasani's coming through. That sentry's still there. He's not going to know there's a set. Oh, it doesn't reach.
Oh, no.
It's not quite far enough. It ends on the... Yeah, nice.
Never trust your passive regen. There's always someone waiting to finish you off. And that should deter them, at least for a minute. Question is, what does HR do with his time?
That was actually a really risky play, and I like it. Because they know the state of this game. Like, they know that this is a very crucial timing for them to just try and slow the pace of Omegalil, or they're going to run into serious problems. So just going for a riskier play like that. Like, he doesn't have a BKB or a Blink. If there was an Ob Sentry combo there, he's probably just dead, had they not rotated like the other way. But now he wants to keep the pressure up, try and keep them offset. Yes, they have Aegis, but missing the Broodmother, they do not want to fight.
No, but they're ensuring they keep this pushed in prep for maybe going for that tier 2 tower. What they could do is they could pivot the top.
And this Drow's really tempting right now.
Think about it. Zooming in, Tornado comes out, does flip on the Vampire. He's got the edge, he needs to actually use it soon though. As the star goes out, move away for the time being. Burn's going to go out and hit him in response. And he did go in deep for this. The hook's got as well. Managed to try and move away quickly, but the Cogs do trap him in. Waveform in 2 more seconds. This sun's going to come out in the meantime. He needs to make his escape. The egg is going to go down. It's really defensive though. They're out.
They just need to retreat.
Shoot. Oh, he will get popped on the way out. Those arrows do hurt a little bit.
I don't actually know why Omegalil played like that. I don't really think there's much point of committing that hard for that mid lane. It ends up okay because they only lost the Venge, but they actually gave HellRaisers like a decent fight while their Broodmother is down. A Broodmother who's still holding this like 9-second BKB.
Sure, and it also kind of felt like there was this kind of fracture in what they wanted to do, right? Half of the team were basically pulling back out of the fight, and the other half were just interested in going as deep as possible. Which you can kind of understand from Malik's point of view. Like, he's very strong at this point. He can tank all the aggression. But it feels like so far Vampire's really not been able to find those top-notch supernova spots in these fights. And he's hurting him.
Radiant structures are falling.
Hook shot. Good about that aggression. Look how he's found this time. He doesn't even try for the kill on the Nyx. He'll take the easy one. Okay, Sunny will run away. Looks like they'll get the cores out in different directions. Need to be careful top though, because there might be a convergence coming in. They know the sunlight's in the area. Instead, he's thinking about converging on the Phonic. That's going to come out, but 4-star Crimson Guard. What are you going to do to him?
Yeah, he's trying to bait it a little bit here. Might get happy if he runs in, but the rest of the team is rotating over.
Was Kaysani about to commit murder upon all these scorers? I mean, it wouldn't be a big snipe if he did actually see it. It would just be one that confirms maybe the Drow. He's just keeping it pushed in. On the other side, Kellen's doing the same.
Yeah, they're just... I mean, it's the same reason why they took that risky fight in the mid lane. Is because they're trying to keep the waves pushed in into at the same time.
Oh.
And, yeah, that's a freebie.
Yoinksies gets them the kill. And they've still got the creeps coming through. Give them access to the high ground. But the Aegis has expired. So this is not without its risks. However, Omegalil are not without their forces. And Spider's tanking this all up. Crowd can just whittle away. Crimson Guard is slowing this down. Right now, Sunny's just interested in sniping couriers. I mean, you could have maybe just shifted top, and you probably would have got the tower by now. But I guess they're just feeling like more confident positioned in the mid area like this.
Yeah. Oh, there we go, though. They take the outpost down bottom, so it puts some pressure on a rotation down there before the 30-minute mark. And that might give them a chance to head back towards the top outpost, too.
No,
not the smoke for a fight.
Yep, they're going. This is risky as well, but if they find Kellen first, it's going to be perfect. He does have that Hurricane fight. Now it's going to come out to Phonic. He's back up a little bit. They're keeping the fight split to ensure there's not going to be a good poison Nova. Vampire, look how aggressively just postures forward. He's like, I just want to press hard, guys. Slow down to Kestani, booming in. And there it is. Egg is really defensive. Also have to try and get Tiny out of range. He's still slowed up though on the side. Ogre has been caught by the hook shot. They'll still chase through. They do see Tiny, they get the kill. That's the big one for them, and that's good enough. They can probably go back towards the base they want to. Dairara looking for a swap target, but won't be able to find it. Now they can just go straight mid.
Yeah, I think the eggs are perfect because they just make it so that
there's no reinitiation.
Talent
right?
doesn't have to move. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's like, what can they do? If they try and jump on the drow, the egg's gonna get off. Even if you threw everything, it's very unlikely you complete the full combo before Happy just gets the swap off. And so then you've committed even more heroes into the middle of the explosion. And then Vampire's just leaving no room for potential killing of the egg.
Well, the swap
like it's scrambled like Funnick.
Funnick's okay for the moment. Say, not though, Dairara. You only have one swap there, Malik. Pretty tanky. Let's say goodbye with the hook shot though. Now they want to punish this. They lost buildings. Now they want to make sure there's more heroes lost from Omega a little bit instead. It's an Omega lot coming out from Duke. Every time just getting caught out so easily. They've always got the sentries down. They've always got the detection ready.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. It was like a little fake back too with like the cogs in the tree, like he's gonna like TP out or something, right? And then in reality, the rest of the heroes were just waiting there.
And he's just getting to a stage more so than before, like where, like you said, these eggs are always giving them kind of like that lighthouse in the Dark Knight, right? Kills like this shit.
Well,
we're getting poetic.
In case their game was, you know, getting difficult, they just got the telescope. So
of course,
Venge telescope. I don't know if there's a better telescope. I think Venge might be the best one.
Ooh,
because like the swap is just so stupid. I mean, Oracle's great too. I will say that Oracle's also amazing.
I'm thinking like heroes that maybe are usually at risk when they're using their spells, like shamans or banes, possibly, that can just stay completely away from the fight and risk, right?
Yeah, but
maybe
swap, dude. Swap.
Winter Wyvern?
No,
nah, she don't need the range. Yeah, Wyvern don't need the range. What are we talking about? Yeah, it has to be bench. Maybe if you didn't have two swaps, but now we're just changing heroes to try and make an argument.
But yeah, either way, one of the best heroes with the telescope. Yeah, always very happy when you have this on your team and it pops up.
There's not too many heroes that care about it on the team, of course, but yeah, it's just within that hero itself, it allows you to do your kit without needing to build into cast range.
Well, the other thing that's stupid about it is that like your team usually builds around the whole attack aura anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then when you get the telescope, now your drow has, I mean, currently she has 625 plus 390, so she's 1,015.
That's true. And, you know, despite the fact there's a Brood that's not counted in the game, this is still all about the drow. You know, that was very clear from the get-go. Seems to be the case, as they stick the Aegis and the cheese on Kellen. Sunlight is just there right now. His hands are going, please, sir, please. There's only one true carry on the side of Omegalil. Meantime, K-Sai is just trying to pressure bot to maybe force them back. They know any trade that happens here will be favorable for them, even with the Crimson Guard consideration that Funnick has.
I think when you see the struggle that they've had this game from Kasane to actually like have a real impact, it shows you just how sick this brew pick was. Because like, sure, they got someone who can lane versus the hero, but his game has not been great. It's kind of like you can pick Tide mid or whatever, but you know, he's gonna have a hard time actually getting a lot done for you.
Yeah, it's one of those cases of, whoop, pulls that bot, Funnick. There's that swap out. Now Malik is still pretty deep. The swap comes out for Dairara. He's like, I willingly give the cause. Back comes out. Fender does get a good poison over off, but he won't be able to make it out of this. He needs to be careful. PKB for Sunlight to move in and get the kill. Now they dive in. There's going to be an egg out. They need to escape. Waveform out by the morphing. She was able to get Invis away. And that gives them the room on the high ground to take the building. They've got a cheese.
Still doing everything. She's, you know, it's her ghost, but all her auras are still functioning.
It is kind of a ludicrous element of this hero. Oh, lost in. They say, where you go? And he's still got the Aegis to work with that drown. The burn's coming out like he's nice. Just feeling the pain a little bit.
He got a kill.
He's separated.
He just killed
just got one kill. He's going to get more. Case He's going to go down as well. The buybacks are coming out. And HellRaisers, you're on the edge of the cliff, buddy. And you're about to get pushed over by Kellen at this rate. He's going to move in, keep the slows on the Nick. The hook's got in, it's there. And they can stun him up long enough. And maybe they get the kill. But he's able to waveform out with the Mantis to get rid of that silence. And now Malik trying to back away himself. So goddamn tanky. Magic damage is not enough. Ellen, they finally get through the Aegis. RNG has praised them. Although I don't know if you're going to like what's going to show on your screen. That's a full HP drow. Panic will set in a moment. So Omegalil can kind of do what they want. They decide to back away. There's still one more lane to address here, and HellRaisers have well and truly put themselves on the edge.
Yeah, they're out of everything at this point, right? Like, there's really no point. It's like, yeah, okay, let's just back up. Everyone spend your 3,000 gold. Let's not throw this away because you know these guys are gonna fight to the very last breath right now, and no one feels like getting e-bladed to death.
I mean, to be honest, people aren't really getting e-bladed to death so far between the Manta dodges of the Drow and how stupidly tanky Malik is. I don't know if they're really noticing that they've been e-bladed until they're disarmed. Probably don't notice with their health bar. And I guess if that's the thought, like, who's doing the damage here? Like, what's your solution here? Because you got a BKB next to Nyx, and you're Tiny, who really would like to go for maybe some sort of right clicks. You have more damage, is now being forced to go for stuff.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
I guess maybe if Funny gets the Poison Nova of his life, but it's still only level 2. And they have a lot of sustain courtesy of this Phoenix.
It's all coming together for Omegalil.
It is. I'm stroking my chin, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, what is the way to go if you're HR? How do you take this fight? Like, maybe finding Vampire first, but how the bloody hell do you kill him quick enough? Okay, they'll go for the Drow instead.
That's pretty good.
That's one way of doing it. He's going to force stuff away, swap to get him out safely. Nyx does go in. There's a hook shot there, and they can actually commit the egg if they want to. Goes to protect it. Nyx going to turn around well on it. It is pretty damn tanky. The frag is going to come on inside. The Drow's going to go down as well. That's the fight they needed. And it looks like it's going to be an absolute fragmentation from Omegalil that cost them this fight, as they're going to lose sunlight as well. All right, so we found our solution. You just have to have teammates so far apart that all the 4-stars, all the swaps, all the saves in the world won't be enough to make it work.
Wow, talk about like best case scenario, man. Getting that toss back right to the end of the fight, so they had to spend everything just to get Drow to like a normal starting position in a team fight, and then they know those saves aren't there. And then the egg, that was a risky call. It's very rare that we actually see people get pulled into the egg these days. Even with the Aghanim, or even with like max level and everything with the Aghanims, maybe there's a good reason. Maybe you need like the 25 talent too or something.
I think the part that looked like, it actually looked like they didn't mean to catch the Phoenix in the cogs, because there was like, I'd say, a 1, almost 2 second pause where he didn't use the ultimate, as if it was like, I don't want to here. I know I'm too close. But then he kind of accepted, I'm gonna die, so I might as well supernova. But yeah, the pull-in was definitely the awkward part, for sure. Then again, I don't think Drow gets out of that if you don't stick her inside the egg.
I wondered if, because the cogs were after the...
They came afterwards. They came later. That's when he done
the waveform, right?
Yeah.
So I thought maybe she was going to get in the trees and be fine. And then I'm looking down at the trees like, where the hell Drow go? I'm like, oh god, she's in the egg.
I guess they were kind of worried because they'd already used the swap, they'd already used the hurricane fight. I did think there was an element of panic to be considered in that. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that's why a lot of Phoenix players just don't do it now, though. Because they just know that, like, when you pull someone in like that, like, the egg is just... Every single hero in the game just hits that egg because they see the value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, had it gotten off, and she comes back out with, like, refreshed multi-shot and everything. It's just, like, starts wailing away on you. Yeah, that would have been pretty sweet.
There's no world in which Nyx was going to let that happen. Already proven
That's nice,
by the
though, man. That's like some breathing room here, you know? You stretch it out as HellRaisers. You start looking around the map. You're thinking, like, okay, all right, push some lanes. Maybe, you know, we've got something. We want to fight, guys. We can do it, right?
Hey,
That's what put in their heads.
They got some stuff back. I mean, oh, wait, no. Win probability can't make up his mind. They did claw back the 10% chance to win, but just from farming alone, win probability is already not like an HellRaisers as much anymore. Malik, station a bit better this time, and Kellen is not standing in the tree line far away from safety. Hook shot, just testing the buttons work. Okay, it's only 30 second cooldown at level 3. But now
Also got the overclocking too, if he really needs it.
Kind of the question, do we really need it? I mean, you see all these people who like to overclock their systems. How necessary is it? Like, it's decent in this game. I don't know if Malik's going to survive if he gets stunned in the middle of those fights, though. Wait, no, I got the play trend. Hook shots,
right,
egg.
I'm ready.
Hook shots again, gets dragged in the egg. Is that the one?
Boom. Oh, Faust would like some item recommendations.
Maybe if you stopped watching the games and started playing them, buddy, you could Take some.
It's good advice.
Oh,
Swap with a force staff though.
And that's the BKB. Aurora, Lemicate dodges out the damage for a moment. They'll be able to bring him down. Tossed in, look where they're caught. Kellen is trying to move around with that flicker. It's not working favorably though. He's going even deeper. The BKB means he's not taking too much damage. The flicker again. It's giving you a hint, Kellen. You need to fight. You need to get in there. Run it. Moving back. Being slowed a lot, but we'll be okay. Malik, that ambitious at the best of times for a TP attempt. Vampire doesn't have to dive away. Maybe in a bit of trouble here. If you get disarm and then maybe egg, something could happen. But Kaistani with the infinite tosses ensures that's never going to be the case. They hold again.
Who force staffed him? Because that was sick.
I think it was Funnick.
I think it was Funnick too. I was thinking around the cooldown trying to fight it, but he ruined the swap, right? Because Venge was like turning for the swap and she gets force staffed in, so instead of the morph like winding up for like a combo play, he's just like sitting on the stairs next to the Venge, hanging it on the stoop. It's like, is this what you thought was gonna happen?
Try it.
And it all broke down.
Have a look at Kellen. Have a look at his neutral item now. He just instantly got rid of the flicker strike. That one fight was enough. Oh.
They have problems. Like, 'cause again, it's another situation that Win probably is going to start crawling back up. Like, oh, maybe I was onto something. But they've delayed to a Roche now. Like, this is a Roche that I didn't think we were going to see this game. And now items are popping up. We got a halberd, ladies and gentlemen. The white sword that's quite good this patch versus a ranged hero. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, that could cause a few problems. I don't really feel like Sunlight is dishing the big damage. Like, maybe if he finds the support, but he's not going to be able to right-click furiously into the morph for the tiny. I mean, it just feels like this has been caused by, of course, HR capitalizing on mistakes, but like Omegalil maybe changing the script a little. Obviously, we had the kind of more, I want to say, cocky and separated approach they took to that tier 2 bot. And then that last fight, Kellen hoping that RNG Flicker would just praise him, and it failed.
And like missed hook shots and stuff at the start. Like it's also the fact is it is just getting harder. This game heading to 40 minutes and stuff. It's not. You don't have the same big lead. Like, you used your hero advantage to grow this big gold advantage. Like, you had the better draft, you had the better lanes, you got them with the brood, but things are evening out, right? The further things go in this match, and you're running out of cute little tricks. I think the Scythe is probably one of the biggest things right now. The Scythe and the Bloodthorn combo from Sunlight. That's what I'm going to be watching for, because if it's not on the Morphling, they still have problems, right? It's like pretty much the Morphling and Kasani, so either of them, they can live, but aside from that, they're going to need some good force staffs.
And at least Sunlight can be a bit more consistent. Like, I could see him, using these at least twice in a fight because he has got the Spell Prism. So, like, there's a potential you get through the Morphling and you can easily find additional pickoffs. It's not a case of everything just for Morph. Then we're kind of exhausted and need a nap for the night. And they ain't napping on this game. Omegalil, they have smoked up. They're wrapping round wide. You can already see HR are holding the high ground, and the pesky Benno is waiting. Out of all the heroes, you know what I run into.
Big name's happening, right? Is this Chu on the Invoker? Like, he's becoming an actual hero. Like that. Back when we had a lot of these support Invokers, this was one of the stranger parts of it. Was just like, as the game gets later and later, he kind of just becomes core Invoker. Like, he might not have a BKB. That's one of the bigger problems, but you're still gonna have all these spells. Like, there's a reason why Midas was so busted on this hero for so long, just because like levels are unbelievable.
Yeah, and the Spirit Vessel that he's going for is definitely going to have a big impact at this stage in the game against any of these heroes. All the BKBs being burnt down, with the fact that they still don't have any sort of dispel on the side of Omegalil. He's going to hurt. They're doing the exact same movement again. Let's see if it works better this time. If at first you don't succeed, how many smokes we got left? Can we try again? Sunlight makes it a little bit obvious. The hook's got in. That's the big target they want. The Tiny up about. Tiny able to force stuff away and look to make this escape. BKB turns around to fight on top of the Broodmother. Bringing out half HP. The BKB comes out. Kellen does a good job of moving away with the noise shots, turn him down. Yeah, not really achieving much. All of a sudden, you need to retreat. Malik will force stuff away. The overclock has been used.
Yeah, they weren't quite able to punish it. They might now, though.
The slows are coming out. I mean, Drow's doing a good job of trying to buy time
don't try
to get
and
them
save
out.
him. Let him go.
No, he's gone. One of the stars for Malik. It might just be one very small moment because Funnick, he's slivering on in, and he does see a call. The side, TP out. It would actually escape. Phoenix makes it out, but Sunlight in a lot of trouble now. He needs a TP out attempt if he can make it, but I don't know if he can. He's lifestealing up. He's trying to stay alive. And now he moves across the side. Look, he's going onto the Venom this time. He has to back away. The disarm's going to come out. He's just trying to buy time to make sure no one else has to die because he knows he's not getting out. I mean, what would it do?
Damn it. Oh my god, why? Why did you stay for the Clockwork team, please? And then they're chasing the tree line. They were so close to getting like every hero there. The toss hit an illusion. Cold was 1 second away, not even a second, 0.2 seconds away on this Phoenix. And they nearly got the Venge too, but now Sunlight's in.
He almost got something there. You got a double back, which meant they couldn't finish Roche. Now, instead they'll finish the Phoenix, who dive away, but the attacks do follow. The adaptive strike to finish him off. And now, there's only one tree there, buddy. Calm down. Abidara will not be deterred from escape just yet. Kellen trying to escape with Tusen on top of him right now. He's got the cold tap. BKB gets forced out. Dara trying to escape the Glimmer Cape. They see him with the true sight. He won't be able to make it out. They can't find a return kill either. Chu does retreat. Drow just trying to do whatever she can, but so far, in these fights, Kellen is just being ignored the entire time.
Oh man. Shout out to Phonic, and Maposhka, and Chu for each buying 4 staffs, man. Like, mass spamming of 4 staffs just makes the game so weird sometimes. And if you think you can outplay your opponents, it is this amazing item. And like now I get why Kasani was even thinking he wanted to. I'm glad he didn't have to get it because his teammates were able to help out and he can go for like the blink instead and everything. But like, damn. They are getting so outplayed right now on Omegalil. And again, yes, the game is getting harder. I think their heroes have completely fallen off. They're stagnating. I mean, Draft's sitting on 6,000 gold, first off, so Kellen's just confused. He doesn't know what to do.
Like, do I need
He's like, dude,
mobility?
guys, am I buying Rapier?
Like,
how do we win this?
It's like, well, I could build it.
Good on my hero?
It's like, I could build it, but they kind of all can get on top of me. Can I click them down in 4 hit? No, probably not.
I mean, I assume he's going Butterfly. I mean, he's a Drow. Morph doesn't have MKB.
And you don't really need the true strike.
It's hard to get that judgment, though, when you're like, you know, when you're actually the core player, you can kind of feel what's screwing you over the most in the game, so he might be feeling like it's something else. Like maybe he thinks he needs Satanic or something.
Yeah, and as a case, like, do you have the tools to risk something along the lines of Rapier? Are you at that stage of the game? Like, possibly. You don't really want to commit to it before the Aegis expires on them. That might not be the case this race. Swap out. Does save life the Clockwork. Vampire just wanted to feel involved, so he did move forward with the Heaven's Halberd. Allows Mount to get out as he dives on through, and the hook shot doesn't allow him to escape for a moment. But Overclock won't get him out. They're able to burn him down. Now they're chasing forward. Morph is just going straight, and the Hex is going to come out to as well. All stuff getting the safe. He's going to burn him low, but Nyx is still alive. Finally, will go down. They get through the Aegis, and this might be the moment where HL thinks about retreating. Kasani is covering fire as he lobs trees in the general direction of the side of Omegalil. Nyx refuses to leave. He's just healing up so much.
All right, Nyx, relax, dude. And yeah, you're huge, but you can't actually just wait for him into 3 heroes and a scythe and whatnot on the high ground. They had a lot of time left on that Aegis. I call that a pretty good win for Omegalil right there to at least get that knocked off, because they still have Ag, they have the swaps, they're going to have hook shot twice once Clock eventually returns. They might have to sack a lane.
Oh,
I got the right one.
They didn't actually touch it out properly. Kellen does get caught. BKB to move away, but they stand on top. And Glimmer Cape's trying to allow him to escape, but the true sight's going to be there. This egg was required. There was no other way. They fly back straight out, but they've already lost sunlight. They're going in one by one. It's the Congo line of death in case Tony has to eat the cheese. Doesn't get him up to full HP. Slows down Kellen for a moment, though. Allows him to back up. Reinforces to arrive. Morphin moves in with the waveform. Goes for the throw. Wants to finish the game. He goes into the fountain, but Kellen staying alive for the moment, but not long enough. Nick's able to get that kill. Flyback comes out from Venge, but it's too little, too late. It looks like the curse is over. We're finally going to need a third game.
They got so outplayed this game. They got outplayed for almost the the entirety of this game. Like, they were at such a draft disadvantage on the side of HellRaisers, and I could name things that were impactful that every single player on this team did. Like, this was